Hello. In my previous videos, I talked about the spectrum of a piano note, and just a quick review, I will look at this spectrum here. This is an A3 at 219.6 Hertz fundamental frequency, and then we've got partials at twice the fundamental, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times within that note. And you can go back and look at the other videos if you want a review of that. Today I wanted to talk about the difference between loud and soft, the difference in the spectrum between loud and soft notes. So I recorded every A of the piano played soft and then again loud. And so you can see right off that the amount of partials, the high frequency partials, are a lot. There's a lot less in the quiet soft version than in the loud version. And also you can see that the background is kind of bluish in the quiet version compared to the loud version, which is black. And that's because I turned up the input levels for the quiet version so that in the recording the volume of what you hear is about the same in both, just so that I could compare them more easily. Couple of other things I wanted to say before we listen. In this is the highest A of the piano, and you can see a lot of partials actually lower in frequency than the fundamental note, 3.5 kilohertz or so. And those come, I talked about this in a previous video, but those come from this part of the string. This long bar here, the strings all touch underneath this long bar, and then the hammer hits in this part of the string. So this part of the string between the bar and this bar here vibrates also, and that's what gives those extra partials that you're seeing in there. And I guess they do that just because these strings don't have much energy, and they wanted to get any extra energy they could from the string. So let's take a listen. Over here, what I've done is I've edited together the soft and loud versions of each note. So we'll turn on the spectrum analyzer view and listen, starting with the lowest A. So that's the quiet one and the loud one. And you can see a lot more higher frequency partials present in the note. And let's continue the next A. And notice how the each peak kind of jumps up and down. I'll talk about that in a future video. I think it's kind of interesting, but how these go up and down at different speeds. These are moving a lot over here. And notice the number of partials is it's getting fewer as the notes get higher. And then also another thing to mention is the fundamental frequency here is minus 14.4. I positioned it right after the initial strike, minus 14.4 dB, and then the next partial is minus 20, so that's about 6 dB difference. And then in the loud version, the fundamental and the next partial are about the same level. So that's I'm basing a lot of what I'm talking about today on this fantastic book, Physics of the Piano, and that's one of the things that he talks about in there, is that in the loud notes, you'll have the first few partials closer together in level, and in the quieter notes, the level of the partials falls off more quickly. You get fewer partials overall, and the partials fall off more quickly. So you hear more of just the fundamental pure note when you play quietly than when you play loudly. So let's just continue listening. And notice how we have very few partials now. This low frequency stuff you can ignore. That's just background noise, because I live in New York City and it's noisy here. And you can see those all these here are those extra partials that we talked about. The reason that you get these extra partials when you play loudly and is because the felt in the hammer, I have a picture here from the internet. Whoops. The felt in the hammer is softer on the outside and harder on the inside. So when you play very gently, it doesn't compress the felt very much, and you basically get something soft striking the string, which means you're going to get a slightly longer contact time, which results in fewer overtones. When you play very loud, hit the string hard, the felt gets compressed, and it gives you the result of hitting with something much harder, and it gives you a shorter contact time, and so you get the more partials. So hitting the string with something soft, fewer partials; something hard, more partials. This picture here is showing the what piano technicians use to soften the hammers. They use needles to stick in the felt to make the outside of the hammer softer, and that will make the sound more mellow. They can adjust the sound. Sometimes they use chemicals to make it harder, to make the sound brighter, or needles to make the felt softer and give a more mellow sound. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching.